Hey everyone. Hi. Before starting the webinar, let me give you a quick round of introductions for both of us. My name is Sarthak Sharma. I'm a customer engineer here at BrowserStack. And the part of our job is essentially to help customers with their technical journey with BrowserStack. So we help them onboard, understand all the technicalities about using the product and how most efficiently they can use this product and get the maximum out of using BrowserStack. And yeah, overall increase their efficiency. I'll allow Parth to introduce himself. So, Parth, over to you.
Hey, hello everyone. So I'm also part of custom engineering team in Sarthak's team itself. And again, we do the same job and we help customers use our products to do better testing, make their products better, and so on. And today we are going to give you a session on how to use our products for manual testing. So again, let's get started and over to you again, Sarthak.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. So before starting off, just some introductions are already done. And today, as Pat already mentioned, that we are going to be talking about the manual testing products that we actually have right now, which are Live and App Live. These are both manual testing products that we are going to be going over, right? Before starting off, some housekeeping rules. The session today will run for approximately 45 minutes. All the participants will be muted, and yeah, we're gonna just give you a demo of that. There is a dedicated Q&A session at the end, so you can hold your questions at the end. And once we demo all the products to you, if you have any questions, any doubts, any feature that you would like us to focus on a little bit more, you can ask those questions in the chat. And then there's a Q&A button as well where you can ask the questions, and we'll be answering those as well. This session is being recorded, and the recording would be made available later on to all the attendees. And yeah, we're just going to move forward from here. Okay, so what is our agenda today? So we're going to talk about what BrowserStack's vision is from a platform standpoint, what we see as testing with the onset of AI, and what all do we want to implement to make testing easier and more efficient in this day and age. What's new? There's a new tool that we have from a manual testing standpoint called bug capture. So Path is going to walk us through a little bit through bug capture as well, how it is useful in your day-to-day testing, and yeah, how you can increase your efficiency in terms of capturing bugs as well. So we're going to walk you through that as well. Then we are also going to be introducing you to Live and App Live, just give you a general overview of all the features that are available. And in the workshop section, Path and I both are going to be walking you through the actual products and what all features we offer as part of BrowserStack Live and App Live. And at the end, as I said, there's going to be a Q&A. Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. So first, let me talk about the BrowserStack test platform. What is our vision? At BrowserStack, what we are trying to do is become one place to test internet in its entirety. We are trying to create a test platform. We're leveraging AI, and we are doing everything we can to make this the single platform that you're ever going to use as part of your testing cycle, right? So we start off right from planning. So we have a very neat test case management tool available right now where you all your test cases would sit, and that becomes a single point of truth for all your testing, be it manual or automation. All of the test cases would sit there, and that's how you perform your testing. Then we move to the create stage, right? So you use all your existing automation frameworks, be it Playwright, Selenium, Java, Cypress, anything that you might be using right now. Apart from that, if you have a low code, no code automation setup and a test environment setup, we will take all of that and then we take you to the execute stage, wherein you are no longer responsible for the environments that this is running in. We maintain that through Live and App Live, Automate and App Automate. And all of these products allow you to do different things, as we are going to walk through Live and App Live today. Both of these products are targeted towards manual testing and how your manual workflows work. Automate and App Automate are essentially the automation version of these, and how you will run your existing automation frameworks. Or we have a low code, no code automation tool as well, which you can use to automate your existing manual workflows and then still use that on the BrowserStack platform and use the cloud infrastructure that we provide and test all your apps and websites on our basically infrastructure. Percy and App Percy is our visual regression testing tools and review tools. So essentially, this is part of, if you think about it, visual bugs are often missed. Percy is a very handy tool, a very efficient tool where it allows you to go one by one on a pixel by pixel level and analyze two of your builds and then go from there to point out any bugs to you. and that happens in tandem with your current automation scripts with minimum effort, right? Then we have got accessibility testing tools as well, and along with that, API testing as well. Finally, at the verify stage, we have products that offer test reporting and analytics. So that becomes your, again, a single point of truth for all your test results. How stable are your build? How flaky are your tests? How much failure rate is for a particular test case? How many unique errors that you're finding? Apart from that, accessibility testing and accessibility reporting is also something that we provide along with automation in our accessibility tool. Yeah, so we essentially are trying to become your single point of uh, uh, device infrastructure along with everything else, basically a complete test platform for you. So anything that you currently use, we have probably an integration with that. So if you use your Jira tools or any CI/CD pipeline tools, we've got integration with most of them. At any level, if you're looking at like infrastructure creation. So if you are currently using a device farm locally, so you might not have the kind of devices that we have available, the range of devices that we have. So all of that is part of our platform services. All of that is available to you. That's our vision. That's how we are trying to move forward. Yeah. Moving on from there, I'm gonna allow Parth to take over here. And like a year back, we acquired a startup, and now it's called BrowserStack Bug Capture. And Parth is just gonna walk us through what the product does. And yeah, over to you, Parth.
Yeah. If you could stop sharing your screen. Okay. So before like I showcase a demo, this product is specifically for manual QAs who, let's say, each time when we, let's say, report a bug on Jira, for example, there's a lot of back and forth involved that, okay, there are these details required, let's say network logs or console logs, or we need a video recording, or if let's say there is a bug that even you don't know how you can replicate or do it again. So let's take an example of this particular website. So what essentially we have is bug capture can be used as an extension on Chromium based browsers. So let's take an example of this particular endpoint. So if we just open it here, and let's say I was just browsing through this. So I changed the images and one of them doesn't work. Okay. Then I can add quantity, then I can do add to cart, nothing happens. I can click on buy now. Again, nothing happens. I can click on view cart and the cart is still empty. So I can see that, okay, the bug has happened, but I want to report this and with all the details possible again. So what we have is, so essentially what bug capture does is I can have a screenshot with logs, but again, this won't be possible because this isn't a typo and I need a complete video recording. So I can record the current tab as well and I can replicate the steps, but I don't know what exactly happened here. So what I have is I have a watch replay option. So I can just click on here. And what this will give me is the complete video recording of all the things that we did. So we clicked on, let's say, change the images, then increase the quantity, so on and so forth. And eh, um, for the video recording, as well as we do also have the console logs as well. So we have the complete console logs, then we have the complete network logs, even with certain basic system info as well. And all of these data can be uploaded to a workspace. And then you can even, let's say, you can directly create a Jira ticket as well out of this. And what this helps you is, let's say, to give the complete information to your developers on where exactly did the bug happen, with the replay, with all of the details that he will be requiring for, let's say, debugging this particular bug. And we also do provide a end-to-end helper as well to, let's say, create a script out of this. So this won't get you to assertions, but it will still get you to 80% of completion. And we do also have different frameworks as well. And after you have uploaded, we do also have multiple integrations in this. So let me just show you that as well. So this is actually where your recordings will be saved after you have clicked on the upload option. And you do also have which particular folder you want it to be uploaded to. And then as you have uploaded, we do also have certain settings enabled for each and every folder. So let's take a moment to check out the integration. So we have integrations with Slack. Let's say if you have uploaded a new recording, you can automatically trigger a Slack message or to Jira or GitHub. And we do also have option to directly create a ticket itself on Jira or let's say Linear or Trello, whichever tools you may use. So yeah, essentially this tool will help you to create bugs more efficiently with all the details that will be required. Okay, yeah, over to you, Sathat, to take over for the live, for the manual products.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Path. Yeah, so let me just share my screen quickly again. Hey, Path, can you confirm if it's visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right. So Path has already walked us through the bug capture product. As he said, it's a very nifty product, especially if you're coming from a manual workflow, right? Captures all the important details that a developer would require to fix a bug. So essentially, the product is targeted toward efficiency again. The word efficiency would come up again and again because we allow you offer a lot of features that increases your testing efficiency. You don't have to do a lot of back and forth between a developer and a tester to find all of this information. Everything is in one place. What is BrowserStack Live? So I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of that before we move on to the actual demonstration of the product. So BrowserStack Live is basically the most reliable manual testing platform for all your web applications, right? So the features that we offer is that you can test from anywhere, anytime. As long as you have an access to a desktop computer, you can access any combinations of OS and web browser versions that you would like to access and test your particular website. We would give allow you to also test on local environments, and this is something that we are going to go over as well. So a lot of the times what happens is that while testing on a staging or a testing environment that you might have, you might not have access to a lot of different versions of the browsers, and that might only be restricted towards your company network or your organization network. We allow you to do that too. You have an option to do local testing, and it will allow you to essentially test on the staging environment as well on a plethora of browsers and OS combination. At the same time, we allow you to simulate a lot of real world conditions, which is through GPS and IP geolocation, how your website behaves on a certain geography. And if it needs to change according to geography, that is possible. You can simulate different network speeds. That is possible. And then we can go from there to accessibility testing and image injection as well. Yeah. In BrowserStack App Live, again, it is a manual testing platform for your applications, so your native and hybrid applications that exist, your APKs and your IPA files. All of those can be tested on the App Live platform. Again, there are some native features that we allow you to test, geolocation being one of them, how your app behaves on a certain geography. You can again do network simulations of different speeds, how your app would be behaving if somebody has like limited network access, maybe a 2G speed, and you would still want your application to work. You can simulate all of that. Also, we allow biometric authentications, and yeah, some of the advanced features also include other things as well, which we'll walk through as part of demo. Yeah. So I guess let's get started. Yeah. Let me just quickly bring that up here. Okay. So let's start with live first. What you're looking at is your give me 1 second, is your dashboard. This is once you have access to BrowserStack, this is from the product section. You just go to live, and this is what you're going to be welcomed with, right? So what you're seeing is your dashboard. This is where you'll start testing. You'll see all the platform and OS combinations that exist here. So you have access to mobile phones as well with mobile browsers. As you see on Android, you see option to go to Chrome, Edge, Firefox, or Samsung Internet in this case, because Samsung has a native browser of their own. We have a plethora of devices right here from different manufacturers that you can go over and test, right? Again, you see Windows versions, and we go as far back as Windows XP. We have Internet Explorer still running. So if you have a legacy use case, for example, right, a lot of users might have something like that, that people have not updated their systems and they're still using a very legacy system. You can still choose to check your web apps and websites here for versions as far back as Chrome 40. We are currently at 138. So this is a nifty little feature that exists for you. Again, for Mac also similar. We can go as far back as Snow Leopard and see all the versions of the the browsers that exist. You also have your favorite bars. So if you in particular your particular use case, you use certain combinations very often that you need to test on, you can mark them as favorites and you can just go ahead and start your testing from there. You can just enter your URL here. So what I'm going to do now is uh, run a demo website right now. Let me launch Windows 11 and Chrome 136. So currently what is happening is we are connecting to a real machine. BrowserStack has real data centers all over the world, and none of this is simulated. We are going to be connected to a live machine, and these live machines are allotted in the base of where your geography is. So whatever is the closest data center to your particular geography, we will be connecting you to that particular data center, and then we are going to go ahead and start the session. And from there on out, you can go ahead and start testing your website as you would on a normal browser. Uh, we also have a lot more features built into that you might not see in your normal browser. But yeah, we would see a lot more details once this comes up. I think my session is stuck here for some reason. Let me just restart quickly. Let's go to Windows 11. Let's try 137. Let's do that. Yep. Quick enough. Now, what you'll see here is that you're currently connected to a real Windows machine, as I said, and you're going to see your standard Chrome interface. Now, from this point on, this is pretty much how you could go ahead and do your flows as you would do on your normal local browser that is sitting in your machine, right? So let me just launch the BStack demo website. So this is essentially simulating e-commerce website with the products listed there, right? So we can just go ahead and start testing this website as you would. Now, one of the things that you see here, that you have resolution. So if you see that your website should be responsive as it should be, because it's going to be used on a plethora of screen sizes as well as different resolutions. People might connect external monitors, wide range monitors. So you would want to test on all of that. You have the option to simulate all of those settings from right here. I'm going to leave this as of right now as it is. Now, you also have an option to record the session. So if you click, you will allow essentially get a recording of the entire test flow. You can choose to record your test flow and share it with a colleague, maybe a developer that you need to share this with. And you can do it for a particular OS combination along with a browser combination as well. Right. Gonna close that. Now, one of the features, this one is a little bit different, which is capture a bug here. So when I click on capture a bug, essentially what happens is it's going to take a screenshot for you right now, and then it's going to allow you different options, right? So we have integrations with Jira, Trello, GitHub, all of those, all the major players, right? So for example, if you use Jira as your test management tool, you don't have to go ahead and separately create a bug there, right? You can choose to capture a screenshot from right here. If you want to highlight something, annotate something, add some text, all of that is possible right here, right? You can directly email this to someone as well. If you're not choosing to raise a bug directly, you can just download a screenshot and share it. And then you have got your some standard shapes to highlight something that you know, right? But the integrations again allow you, when you click on an integration and you have your Jira integrated, it'll capture the resolution that you saw this bug on. It'll also capture the browser version that you saw this bug on. It'll also capture the OS version that you saw this bug on. So this allows developer to look at that, hey, this bug could be appearing just on say Mac OS on a particular Mac version and Safari browser version, right? So all of that is completely possible and you can capture all of these details right here. Yeah. So let's move on from here. Now, again, change location is something that I was talking about, right? So you can choose to change locations right now. So if you see there are certain offers that are coming. So let's just do one thing. We just sign in here first, right? Now we will allow while visiting the site. So the location is now allowed and we are gonna show that there are no promotional offers in your city currently. Hey, Pat, can you give me a city name that we see an option offer in?
Okay. So actually for IP geolocation, what we provide is the country, but for let's say Canada and US, we do provide statewide
Right.
IP access. So you could try for California.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's do that. Now, what's happening is essentially we are updating the IP geolocation, right? And what it'll do is for you, it'll now simulate how your website would look on that particular geography, right? So as Pat said, for your let's say website, if you need to have different content show up on your website for different geographies, you can go ahead and test that, right? So in US, for certain cities, we allow you to simulate specific cities, but otherwise you can mostly always, almost always simulate countries, right? And there is a plethora of countries that are visible there. Uh, let's just allow this. We have promotional offers in your location. You see, after California was selected, we have some offers, and when it was just wherever I was accessing this from, probably the data center in India, it was not showing me any offers. So you have 30% off on this, and we have got free shipping and everything, right? So the website is showing you, according to that particular location, what offers would be available, right? So this is a very unique use case that BrowserStack allows you to do. Yeah. Now, you also have an option of screen reader. So if you are doing accessibility testing as well, there is a functionality right now available here that you can enable the screen reader, and it'll allow you to go through the entire website and check how the screen readers are interpreting your website. Now, this works across the board. So you can try it on Chrome and Windows combinations. You can also go ahead and try this on Mac OS with a Safari combination or maybe a Firefox combination. All of those combinations work. You would always have to just, the workflow remains the same. You'll come to screen reader, enable the screen reader, and it'll immediately start reading through everything and show you how a visually impaired person would interpret your website. And that allows you to fix bugs there. We also have an accessibility testing tool, which is a completely separate tool, which has a lot more features. But yeah, as part of live, we do allow you to use the screen readers and check your website, right? Now, we also allow you to have files and media. If your website has a particular use case of how file upload will behave in your website, you can choose to do that, and also have image injection. So right now, what you see here is a sample asset that is currently sitting here. And let me quickly demonstrate how image injection would look like, right? So I'm just going to pull up a link here. Uh, Second. Yep. Let's open a new tab here. And let me paste that. Let's allow this website to load. Yeah, so essentially what happened is, in this particular case, it expects you to start your webcam, right? And you want to check the functionality if the user is able to start their webcam and capture an image. So this is the image injection functionality, wherein we will click on start, and what it'll do is it'll ask us the normal permission that you would see on your local browser, and we'll say allow while visiting. And you see here the live camera image that came up here is the one that we had uploaded in the image injection section. So you can upload a new asset that you choose to add here, but essentially what it is testing for you, if the live webcam functionality worked. So image injection is possible at this point. If I click on capture, the photo got captured. So this is simulating a live webcam view for you, and on how image injection works. And yeah, you can essentially see here. Let's quickly run through another website I can show you, right? Where similar thing can be done. Let me uh, start another webcam test for you. Lee. Right. So again, this is a photo taker online, right? Currently, it shows nothing, but then we are gonna just say launch camera, and it's gonna ask us for the permission fully, and we are gonna allow that now. And once that happens, again, the sample image, as you see, comes up here. It is completely replicating if you take a photo online, how would your website behave, right? So you can do all of those testings right here. You don't have to manually sit and do it on a system. And you can again go ahead and feel free to upload any asset in any browser combination. This works across the board, and you can check if the functionality is working with every kind of browser, right? So compatibility is key, and we allow you to test on all of that, right? Apart from that, if you are looking to download your network logs or look at your network logs, it will be same as how you do it on or a local machine. All of the so in fact, even if you want to inspect elements, all of that works as it would on a normal machine. There is no difference here. So if you go to network logs and you say preserve logs, and let me just go ahead and add to cart. Now we have some network logs getting generated here. All of that is getting generated. Now, if you choose to download this, that is completely possible. You would just simply click as you would on export har, and then eventually you will see it get downloaded to your machine as well, right? So no matter natively what machine you're using, if you're using a Windows in BrowserStack or a Mac on BrowserStack, this functionality would remain the same. You're allowed to download anything that you would like to download, right? And apart from that, we also provide Lighthouse integration, right? So what Lighthouse integration is that it will generate a Lighthouse report for you in these categories, right? So this is going to give you a general idea of what kind of performance kind of that your website has. So performance in terms of how quickly does it load all the assets, right? So how accessible is the website? Is it following all the best practices, right? So a Lighthouse report is a quick way to know what kind of how your website is behaving. It's gonna give you just a proper score for you and how long it takes. So you're seeing some basic auditing is coming up for you. So and it's eventually gonna give you a complete score on how good is it in terms of loading the elements, how good is it. So this particular page, if you see, is overall score is 74, the performance is 74, accessibility wise it's giving it 88, in terms of best practices it's giving you 100, and in terms of SEO it's giving you 91, right? So this is again a very nifty little feature. It will give you proper diagnostics as well as to why it has given you the score category wise, so you can go through the entire report and look at what is going on, what you could do better, and why would it score you less, say for example in performance, what could be better, right? And it is also highlighting ki 50 to 89 is good. 1900 would be completely ideal, but if you're between 50 to 89, it's good, right? So what kind of things that you could improve on is something that is part of the report itself, right? So you can do that as part of BrowserStack Live. So not just cross-browser testing on different machines and real devices, you also have integration from Lighthouse that will just allow you to do that. Yeah. Okay, great. I think this kind of winds up our browser stack live part of things. Path, is there anything else that we would like to showcase? If I'm missing anything, feel free to add.
Um, Sorry, I was just answering questions. Have we completed the local testing part?
Oh, right. I completely missed that. Yes, local testing. Right. So what local testing, as I said, allows you to do is basically you would have to download a local testing app that is one-time setup. Once that happens and you enable local testing for your essentially BrowserStack Live, what it allows you to do in this case, local testing is on. So if you have any local environment that is only accessible through your own network, right, a local tunnel or something like that, then in that particular case, we would you can use that like a local host 8080 or something, a local host 4545, whatever, wherever you're hosting a website, you can directly use that and access that on the cloud network as well. So all the network traffic would be directed towards through it, creates essentially a tunnel between you and browser stack, and all the network that you'll see here would be tunneled through your own network, and it will allow you to access everything that is on your local side of things. The best use case that I can think of is staging or a testing website version, which is usually restricted to the company network only and nowhere else. Yeah. But is anything else that we want to talk about? I think on live side of things we are good, and then we can move on to app live, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. As
Let me
Pooja
just,
has said, yeah,
yeah.
we can move to apply.
Let me just quickly just launch one more device here in case somebody is wondering if you can access browsers on mobiles as well. You absolutely can. So all of those are also available. So this is again connecting to a real device. It works very similarly. So the difference between App Live and here launching a mobile devices, here you're specifically launching a browser. So you're either intending to test a website that you already have, or what you're intending to test is your web app, right? So this would run within a browser. You are not downloading any native application or an APK or something like that, right? So that is the only difference here. In this case, the other features that are added from a browser standpoint also is, as I said before, you have a network throttle feature, right? So you can set network speeds and see how your website would react, how would your website react on specific use cases here, right? So for example, if you see a use case where it's an edge network, only 250 kbps is available, how would your website load? That network simulation is possible here. The image injection and file upload works pretty much similarly how I already demonstrated on the desktop version of the application. It is exactly the same. There is no difference. Again, capture a bug works similarly. You will capture a bug, it will take a screenshot. All the integrations works as it is. You still have the option to annotate something if you choose to do so. Yeah. Apart from that, here anything additional would be a screen recorder. In this, yes. So this is what is important. On a mobile device, we also have limited support for device GPS as well. So what we saw before was the IP geolocation feature on a desktop. Now, in this case, we allow you to set your device GPS as well. Essentially, the device's GPS would be simulated to a particular location, and if your website is capturing location from that also, you can choose to set it from device GPS location as well. Yeah. As part of DevTools, again, it's the similar DevTools that you would find on a desktop. But yeah, on a mobile browser, usually you would not see network logs and everything else come up very neatly. Here, we do that for you, and all of that is arranged. You can again capture the network logs, download them if you choose to do so. Lighthouse is part integrated here as well. So if you run it on a phone as well, how's it running on a specific after you throttle the network, all of that is possible to create. And on a mobile device, all your device controls are also handy, so you can rotate the device, see how your device looks there. Sorry, I rotated it twice. So you can rotate the device and see how your website behaves accordingly. You can choose to zoom, go to home screen. All of that is possible through the mobile devices, right? So now let me just stop a session here, and we can now move on to App Live. Right, cool. So now what you're looking at is the App Live dashboard. And here what happens is essentially you have several integrations to test your app. So maybe you're testing your app, you want to integrate with Firebase and get a new build from Firebase every single time. You can choose to integrate Firebase here. We have got App Livery, Test Flight, all of these are integrated. You can also choose to directly install if it's a prod app from a Play Store or an App Store and run it on real devices. So we have a plethora of real devices with SIM cards and without SIM cards as well, right? So there are use cases where people would want to test OTP and stuff like that. So we have limited support for SIM cards as well. You will see certain manufacturers that are available and certain models that are available with actual SIM cards as well, right? So in this case, let me just quickly launch the Wikipedia app. It's a sample app that we've got on the S22 for now. Uh, Now, again, we are connecting to the closest possible data center, installing an app on a fresh new device, right? Like we clean up, we do the cleanup, and the device is as good as new, and then we install all the required application that you've chosen to install, right? Now, this is the Wikipedia sample app, and this is essentially replicating how it would run on a Galaxy S22 on version 12, OS 12. All of those information is available here. What you're seeing here is the DevTools. You can choose to see all device log or specific app logs. So what you're seeing is real-time logging of whatever actions that are taking place on the website itself. So if I just click on an article, in this particular case, it just didn't work, but that's fine. The application itself is working and loading. So all of those things would show up here. You are allowed to access the logs. Again, you have an option of ADB shells. There is limited support for ADB commands as well. There is a set of, and we can share documentation later that what basic ADB commands that you can actually run as part of this. But you can run some basic ADB commands, and that would allow you to actually perform certain actions as per your use case, right? If we go to inspect, this is basically you can choose to from here go into the inspector mode and start inspecting elements as you would to maybe you're trying to automate a script and you're trying to capture some elements, right? So you can choose to start to capture elements here, and you have the UI inspector turned on, right? And all of the properties would be visible to you for any element that you're trying to look at. So yeah, from that perspective, we have inspector as well, right? We also have integration for Appium Inspector as well, which you can choose to go from here and it will just open Appium Inspector for you. And you can keep clicking on elements and Appium Inspector would behave accordingly, right? We also, again, provide network locks as a feature for mobile applications as well. Now, there is a certain set of settings that you do to enable this, but it's all part of the documentation. It's minimum requirement. You can just, it's pretty much plug and play. Once you save the configuration, what ends up happening is that you'll have a device ready for network logs as well. So it'll end up capturing all the network calls that are being made on app as well. So it'll just restart your app and then give you network logs that are getting captured, right? So network log tracks are getting captured now. Let's preserve logs and let's try and capture something. Yeah, you see all the network logs are now getting captured here. So for mobile applications as well, you can choose to capture network logs. And this is again a very nifty feature that you wouldn't see on like when you're testing on a handheld device and stuff like that. It's built into it right here and it allows you to do all of this. Again, downloadable as before. You can choose to download these logs and choose to do what you want to with it, right? Now, what I'm going to do here is quickly show you a couple of other features. Now, for example, if you're choosing to see how app upgrade works within this, right? So, for example, if you might have an app that is you want to see how an upgrade works when somebody is currently using the app, right? So you have an option to install a new app. So within this, you can choose a newer APK and other options as well, whatever you choose to do, right? So you can use that and see how in real time on a particular device how it would look if you were starting to install an app while your app was open or app updation as a process started, right? All the mobile phone features that you expect are here. So if you probably have a want to see what it looks like if the volume slider appears in front of your app and is it behaving correctly or not, so while this is visible can I interact with my app or not, stuff like that, all of that is possible here as part of manual testing. Of course, you can also see all other apps that are open and use it as a normal device, right? And go across the board and open other apps and do that. Capture a screenshot is it says what it does. Essentially, it allows you to capture a screenshot of the screen that you're looking at. Kill and uninstall is that you can force kill an app and see how it would behave if you killed the app and would it restart as you expect or not. And that is an option. We also provide limited access to Android settings. So if you want to set a device passcode or an app orientation or a specific time zone, your app behaves as per the geography or a time zone for whatever reason, right? You can set a particular time zone as well and simulate that time zone and see how your app is behaving. For example, if you're trying to check if your app automatically changes modes, right? So, for example, it needs to go to a sleep mode or a dark mode or it becomes grayscale after a certain time in the day. You can choose a time zone where it's evening time and simulate that time and check that. Again, rotate device is an option that you have how your app is behaving in the landscape mode and in the portrait mode as well. Change location, it works similarly as in BrowserStack Live. You have device GPS since these are mobile devices, so we have limited support on actual device GPS simulation as well. And then you've got your IP geolocation as well, which is very extensive in terms of its geography. So you can choose to do that. Again, throttling is something that is available here as well. You can simulate a plethora of network speeds here, and you can go ahead and set any speed and see how your app behaves, how elements are behaving. For example, is it crashing out? Have you set a timeout, for example, for a slower speed? Only if the elements are not loaded, what kind of versions does that work? We can choose to do that, right? Now, what so file and media and image injection are something that again can be done here as well. You can choose to upload files to device and download files from device as well. All of both of those options are available to you, and you can choose to do that. In terms of screen reader, again, this works differently. So in this particular case, this would be using the Google Talkback since this is on Android. So a screen reader would be launched that is built into Android devices, which is the Talkback. And in that case, you can test how your app is behaving with Talkback. So you'll be able to see real sound. Currently, I've not shared sound as well, so you might not be able to listen to it. But if you enable this, how your app would behave for a visually impaired person again is something that you can test out right here, and that is part of the App Live uh, basically package. Yeah. DevTools is the section that you were looking at, and this can be removed if you're not using it at any point in time. Report a bug works again similarly as it would on BrowserStack Live. We have all the integrations here as well, and you can again choose to annotate whatever you want to annotate, and it'll again capture the OS version, the actual device that this was captured on, and yeah, what time zone and geolocation, etc. If you've set that up as well, all of those information will be captured, and you can directly raise a bug from here. Yeah. Let me just discard this. And then there are some basic additional settings that you can have in terms of notifications, and if you want to send system notifications and see how those behave while your application is on, is it crashing out when a notification comes in, stuff like that, all of that can be simulated and tested here. Local testing again is allowed here as well. So for example, if you have a web view element within your app, so a lot of applications do that, also have a web view element, you can test that as well. If it's going to say again a staging or a test website that is only accessible through your own network on your say your organization's network. You can enable local testing and all the traffic will be directed through that, and you'd still be able to test out your web view, right? Let me just now go do one thing and stop the session, and I'll just open this regression app. This is again a sample app. And what we're going to do here is just quickly show that we also allow biometric authentication as well. Right. So what I'm going to do now, it's a sample app, and a lot of like banking apps, maybe a financial app or any other app. Mostly a lot of apps now allow you to have a biometric authentication setup, and you can choose to test that on BrowserStack as well. Right. So what this does is I'll just click on biometric prompt, and when I click on this, what will happen is essentially if you had a physical device, a physical prompt comes up on Android devices where you basically put in your finger and scan through the fingerprint scanner that you have, which is a biometric authentication. So you can just say that, and then on Android you'll see three options. Similarly, it will work on iOS as well for any kind of biometric authentication that you might have. You can choose to see if you cancel the biometric authentication, how your app behaves. So we have set up this error in this particular application. That's what we are seeing. If you see the user fails the biometric authentication, what should have should they go back to the home screen? Should they be logged out of? So maybe you want to log someone out after three failures. You can do multiple failures here again and again and see if the application is actually logging the user out or locking them out as well, right? If you see pass a similar prompt has been authentication succeeded has been added here. So you can do real-time biometric authentication or device passcode authentication or any kind of authentication can be tested as part of this app as well, or any app like as part of BrowserStack App Live is what I meant. Similarly, for if you think about image injection, camera use cases, right? Maybe you're scanning a QR code or stuff like that. All of that is also possible. That has to be enabled. And let me just quickly show you through where. So there are settings here that you can enable. So we also have. In the interest of time, we can't actually show you this, but we have a large app support for, especially for gaming purposes. People test their games, and they can have a very large application, the web view UI inspect that I talked about, right? So you can enable that for your app. Biometric authentication is something that you can enable. So on an app level, you can choose to enable all of these things. So video injection is possible, image injection is possible. So for example, if you are testing a QR code scanner functionality as part of your application, right, you can enable the image injection and video injection functionalities and go back and launch your app. And at that point, again, whatever sample asset QR code that you might have, your app is supposed to perform the next action. You can upload that QR code and see if the workflow is working as expected, even on the BrowserStack App Live format, right? So all of these additional features are available, and you can enable them on an app by app level in the settings section right here, and you can choose to go ahead and from there and yeah, test your applications out. Again, Path, I would like you to chime in. Is there anything else that we would like to showcase?
Um, no, that isn't the case. I believe you have covered everything.
Yeah.
Just one thing. So for the uploaded apps, apart from the file upload, we do also have a URL option as well, in which you can directly put in the URL as well. Of you can put in the publicly accessible URL to upload your app as well. This was a question that was asked by one of the attendees. That's why I was just chiming in for that. Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah. As I said, SIM card functionalities are all built in. So you'll see all the carriers that we support currently and what kind of SIM types they are. Again, the countries are currently limited, and you will see all the country option, carrier options, and SIM types. All of those would be available here. This is available for iOS and all of that. So yeah, this kind pretty much concludes our demonstration here. Now let me go back to sharing my screen and the presentation. Give me one second.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me just quickly walk everybody through. So most interesting feature, probably I just missed out. My bad, everybody. Just let me walk you through that quickly. Right. So I covered all the tabs and I missed out on this one. I had set the resolution badly, so I didn't see it myself. So what you see here is essentially a very nifty little feature that once your app is launched, you can start a performance profiling for it, right? What it'll do is give you a very good nifty little report of what kind of, in real time, what kind of CPU usage, app memory usage, frame rates, and power consumption is happening while using this app, right? So, for example, if I'm using and going through a general flow, so you would have your paths, happy paths, and all of that, right? So, a failure path maybe some parts of your applications are heavier, and all of that can be ran through here, and you can keep running through the actual flows and record and profile your app of what kind of app CPU usage you were seeing and what kind of memory usage you're seeing, right? So the idea is to optimize your app for all kinds of devices, right? So you might see that the app memory usage is very, very high, and that would make it basically unusable for anybody who's using a phone that might not have that kind of memory available on their phone. So again, that allows you frames per second is again how smooth your app looks while you're scrolling through, while you're going through different kind of things. So here it's behaving pretty badly, as you see, as this app is not completely optimized. This is just a sample app. So you'll see all of that and what kind of power consumption is being also done. So this allows you to see if your app is going to get installed on somebody's actual device and start to drain their battery. And probably you see a lot of complaints by people that, hey, I installed your app and the battery just started dying, right? So all of those testing can be done right here. We provide it as part of App Live, and this particular feature is one of the highlights of our product itself. And my bad that I missed out on that. And a lot of people actually wanted to look at this and on how this looks. So yeah, this is what it looks like. When I stop the profiling, essentially it will create a thorough report with a lot of graphs for you to interpret, and then you can go ahead from there and figure out what kind of changes you want to make for your app. So this is like a small report. You can choose to have a full report that will show you all kinds of graphs, right? So you see average CPU users was around 1.07%, which is not so high. There was some slow frames. What was the percentage of battery that was being consumed during this time, and what kind of average memory use you saw. Now, all of these, again, as I said, you'll see a lot of graphs, and what we were doing on the screenshots would also be visible. Oh, actually, this is an entire video that you can play and go ahead and see what was happening. So simultaneously, you'll see your graphs would move accordingly, right? And when you move forward, it'll show you at what point you had a memory spike, a CPU spike, or a battery usage spike as well. Again, network data usage is also something that is being calculated. You want to make sure that your app is not too heavy on data consumption when it doesn't need to. Kind of disk usage was it doing? And you can basically download these logs as well. So this is a highly useful feature that you can choose to use for your application, and it will just give you an entire app profile of how your application is performing. Yeah. So this is a good way. Was there anything else, Path, that we saw as part of question and answers that people might want to have a deeper look at?
No, no, not as of yet.
Okay, great. Uh, Let me just quickly then go back to our presentation, and let's go from here. Uh, Now, as part of the workshop, we what we are doing is we're gonna try and if you're interested, you can have like an exclusive offer that you can choose to look at, and we're basically offering you 90% less per user. So all of these products that we looked at is depending on how many users you have and how many people are going to be using this product. And we're going to accordingly offer you an exclusive offer where you can pay up to 90% less per user. I would also encourage all of you that if you want to try these products out, you can use your existing email IDs. Go to browserstack.com, and you can start a free trial for a little bit. You can do that for all of our products, but if you're specifically interested in a part of it, there is a limited time where you can use the products, try them out, and see if you're actually interested. And you can always reach out to us, and our sales team would be more than happy to arrange a demo for you. And then if you're interested in any of these products, and we can take it from there. Yeah. Now we can move on to the Q&A section. So, Parth, anything that you weren't able to answer as part of the chats, we can now start taking up those questions as well. Yeah.
So we could just use the raising hand feature to maybe invite them here. Maybe that
Uh,
will be
I think
helpful.
Abhinav has also launched a poll, folks. In the meantime, while we are actually answering questions, please choose to answer the poll as well. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we can do is just share the Q&A section itself, and I can see there is a question. Does it support QR purchase testing for injection standpoint? Path, you want to take that?
So okay, so By QR purchase testing, I'm essentially assuming that it is regarding, let's say, uploading a QR or using a QR on your live, let's say, on your application. Then yes, you can do that using BrowserStack's image injection feature. So yeah, that will be possible.
Right. I hope
Um,
that answers your question.
just
Uh, yeah, go ahead.
just 1 second. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
Abhinav, could we invite folks in this so that they can directly ask their questions? I can see that some of um, them have raised their hands. Could we do that?
Uh, okay. Abhinav might not
Okay.
be able to answer. Yeah, I think we can
Okay.
use the Q&A functionality for now and answer questions in chat. I think that should be okay for now. Guys, folks, anybody who has any questions, instead of just raising your hand, just add it to the Q&A section of
Q&A
Zoom,
section. Yeah.
and we will be able to answer those and we'll be able to see those. Pooja, you said, can you show that to, I'm not sure which feature are you referring to. Could you just
That
elaborate?
was regarding the upload feature using public URL, upload an APK using public URL.
Oh, right. Got it.
So that will be as easy as putting in the URL itself in that, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, then we have, okay, for the AI capabilities. Um, okay. So Sarthak, do you want to cover the AI capabilities or should I?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we don't really have the time to like showcase the entire thing to you folks right now. But in terms of AI capabilities, we're bringing in a lot of stuff, right? So as part of, like I said, we have a tool called test case management already existing. We have a very nifty integration in test case management right now. So for example, a lot of manual testers have to go through a very lengthy business requirement documents and create test cases. So we have BrowserStack AI integrated in the test case management, and you can choose to create your test cases with the help of AI by feeding in your business requirement documents, right? So as soon as you feed in the business requirement documents and give a prompt according to that, hey, I would like to create these many test cases and cover all of these features that are mentioned in the business requirement document, it will very quickly, within a matter of minutes, create all the possible edge cases and everything that you can expect from that business requirement document. Now, as AI is coming up, we always recommend that you are still the reviewer, but what it does for you is it's like having a junior tester or a junior person sitting with you, and you become just the reviewer. So at that point in time, you will review the test cases, see if there are any other edge cases that you might want to add, edit the current existing test cases that it has created, and you can just go ahead and add those test cases in your test case management tool. Apart from that, as part of our low code, no code automation tool, we also allow you to use AI as part of that as well. So the low code tool is pretty much like how you would record a flow. And there also, we allow you to generate actual test steps as part of automating your entire flow. And yeah, there are a lot more AI features that are in the pipeline that are coming up, and you should stay tuned definitely to our LinkedIn pages and maybe our website, and maybe you can schedule a demo for any product that might tickle your curiosity. Yeah. Right, Path.
Yeah. One more thing to cover is so as it was specifically regarding, let's say, the AI use of BrowserStack in automation. So we do also have self-healing as a part of our automation test, in which, let's say, if the identifiers or the locators change, it won't still break your test. It will show the test as self-healed, and that happens because while in the background, what we do is we do also capture apart from the identifiers, we do also capture the location of that particular element in the DOM itself. And then later on, if you do change um, the identifier or the locator, it will automatically still won't break the test case and it will update the correct locator in the test script. And this is the case for our low-code automation tool as well. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Uh, does the tell how
Um,
much?
There
Yeah, go ahead, Path.
was, sorry. There was one more question regarding payments testing in BFI sector. So we do also have payment testing as a part of our products as well. So we do support Apple Pay, Google Pay, and other forms of payment testing. So you could do that as well. It wasn't the scope today because of the short timelines, the short time frame that we have for this particular webinar. But yeah, you can do Apple Pay testing and Google Pay testing on BrowserStack devices as well.
What is
Yeah.
the future of manual QA? But this is a loaded question. You want to take that? Yeah. So, I mean, it depends, right, Junaid? What you're asking is a very relevant question in terms of that how much people are automating right now. Uh, I think there is a place for manual QA for specific use cases, probably always. But of course, the proportion of how much people use manual QA is eventually going to decrease, and that's a good thing for all of us, right? We will spend less time doing and fixing issues that are not actual issues and do more of actual testing, right? So if you see the browser stack range of products, what we are targeting towards is towards creating more efficiency, even on the live and app live, which we just saw, right? As a manual product, the idea is that you get more out of it, more and more. You don't have to go to 10 different places to do and find different kind of testing, right? So performance tests, for example, are part of it, right? So of course, you manual QA is gonna slowly reduce in number. There's going to be some place for it, I think, always. But yeah, it's a loaded question. It's difficult for me to answer. But yeah, the future looks towards more automation or more intuitive testing, right? You'll always have manual intervention. Yeah. Path, you want to take the next one?
Is BrowserStack browser load dependent on your device? No, that isn't the case. The only requirement for let's say BrowserStack Live um, o- to function properly is, let's say, a requirement of bandwidth and certain protocols that we use for streaming. So we do use WebRTC protocol. So that is the only requirement that will be required, and not you won't need a pretty, let's say, uh, high performance desktop for using BrowserStack live and app live platforms.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Ajit has a question where he's saying that basically essentially questioning if the devices are real on browser stack. Ajit, I assure you the devices are very real. These are all real devices that are being used. We have around 17 data centers and always increasing on different geographies where the devices are currently sitting. We also have day zero devices that get added, right? So it's not just that we are a very trusted name, so that a lot of the devices are available on day zero, right? For the last time, the latest iPhone was live on BrowserStack. Sometimes we get access to devices early and then we launch it on day zero, and you can start testing your devices there as well. So these are very much real devices. So if you're seeing any kind of discrepancy in terms of a particular device manufacturer, you would want to probably have a look at it. Could be a defect on the application itself. Go ahead, Path.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, apart from how can we use AI in our manual QA field in BrowserStack? So, as like Sarthak already told you, right? So AI is something that will be present moving forward. But again, um, we see AI as only a means to increase our productivity to do the testing part. So always manual QAs will always be required, and AI will be always be present to, let's say, assist you in creating certain workflows. So essentially, as Sarthak told you, like we do have a test case management platform in which we do help you create test cases. So let's say you have certain flows in your mind that you have created test cases out of, and you tell the AI in BrowserStack's test management that, okay, create certain more use cases or flows for a login scenario or for any of the other scenarios that you may have. And it will help you create those scenarios, and it will help you discover all of the possible flows that may be possible in your website or your application for that matter. So that is where you can use AI in your, let's say, manual testing workflow.
Yeah, think
Satyam,
of it as
any,
always
yeah.
aiding you. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Right, it's an aid for you as it stands today. The technology is rapidly developing, right, and BrowserStack is on the bleeding edge of this. We are always looking ways to integrate how we can basically, as I said, we are trying to create a complete test platform, and we want to be the place, one-shot place that people come and test everything that they want to test, right? And we're always looking ways to integrate AI in it, right? But you always want to have like a manual side of things. For example, the percentage is always will decrease, right? It has been decreasing over a period of time, but there are going to be things that you want to still check manually and check to your liking, right? People like that human interaction, that one person has at least had a look. So you might not have teams which are like 20 people sitting in a manual QA and doing a test case by test case thing. The teams will considerably grow, I think, smaller, but you will have a couple of people who would still have a final look and say on how things are going. Yeah. And it will always increase your efficiency. So look at it that way, especially as test case management is a brilliant example of that. If you're using any other test management tool, manual typing and creating test documentation is a pain. As a former tester myself, I can attest to that it takes a lot of time sometimes. So it takes a lot of time and it decreases a lot of your let's just call it work that is not testing. Again, thank you everyone for joining and giving us your precious time. Uh, Thank you so much. Yeah, we can end the session right here. Okay, bye bye.